Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today I am hearing the band Soundgarden for the first time. A number of you have suggested a duet between Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell, but I wanted to hear Chris on his own first before I see that. So today we are going to hear the song Fell on Black Days. Here we go. Stop there, and I just want to go back again. His voice has this like smoothness to it. I'm already imagining a duet between him and Eddie Vedder, and I can understand why so many people recommended it. He's got a little bit of that sort of like grungy, snarly kind of texture at the ends of certain words, but it feels very youthful and very smooth, and just has this, I don't know, like this, I don't even want to say warmth, it's almost like this sort of glow that is sort of coming off of his voice. It's just like a really beautiful, constant hum. I don't know if that was a good way of describing that or not, but we're going back to the beginning. Even when he adds a little bit more pressure and there's more presence, it's still just this very refined tone. when he goes up, it is so smooth. The other thing I wanted to mention was that transition we heard earlier where he went into either a falsetto or more of a head dominant mix, and as he came back down, again, it was like silky smooth. And I can't help but continue to think of what he and Eddie Vedder would sound like together, because the contrast between their voice, they have similar qualities. I'm trying to describe they have similar qualities in their tone, but also the textures are different. And so I feel like the two of them together just would be mind-blowing. Here we go. I love that he chose to use falsetto when singing with the guitar in that section, because they paired so beautifully together. The other thing that dawned on me when I'm trying to sort of imagine this tone that was grabbing my attention, it was beautiful to see when he went into that higher registration, but also that he was giving more presence. There was more angst in his voice. And so I know this isn't live, but if you look at his face, well, I mean, I don't know how they recorded this music video. Maybe parts of it are live. I'm not sure. But whenever he's in mid-range, his face is very relaxed. And so things I've mentioned before, when you widen your palate, that affects your tone, or when you're smiling, when you put energy into lifting the soft palate, that also affects your tone. And so if you have just this, especially considering the text, if you have this emotion, this feeling inside of you, and on top of that, you've got so much relaxation in your facial muscles, characteristics that would contribute to the sound we're hearing. A lowered soft palate, he's not widening his palate, we're not getting that bright Italianate smile. And so those characteristics, in thinking back to seeing Pearl Jam, again, the things that you do with your face affect your tone, and they had sort of similar pensive expressions on their faces, more relaxed cheeks. I mean, not smiling. These sorts of things are creating this gorgeous tone, and I think the same thing probably was happening with Eddie Vedder in that Pearl Jam video I saw. But anywho, let us continue. I'm sorry, I wanna go back. That is so smooth when he says made. It's almost as if, and a lot of classical teachers will talk about this, singing on the very edges of your chords, because it really helps with dexterity. And that's sort of what I'm envisioning is happening, because I feel like we're getting full adduction, but it is just barely, so we're not getting a lot of breathiness or texture, but we're still getting, presence in the sound. It's just very gentle, very delicate, very light is not the right word, but it's very refined. At least, I don't know, that's what it sounds like to me. Here, so much more intensity in his face, in his facial muscles, and we're getting more spread. He's obviously using more air pressure. We're getting a lot more bite in his sound because of all of this, and obviously, the choice he's making to create the sound as well. But the two sort of, it's kind of like the chicken or the egg, which came first. It's really hard to make all of these sounds if you're not doing anything with your face, if your face was just super relaxed. And then on the flip side, because of the text, his face is just automatically doing this, and so we're getting this tone, etc. So don't you lock up something that you wanted to see fly, hands up and shaking, long time. Go back to that line that was repeated so often, and then we heard it without the guitar, and you got to just really focus on his vocals. Wanted to see fly, hands up and shaking, long time. That is a perfect example of what I'm trying to communicate, in that he's doing very similar stylistic things, obviously because of the genre and the time period and whatnot that I heard from Eddie Vedder, but his onset is it's so delicate. It is just his voice just rings so clear, whereas when Eddie Vedder did these sorts of stylistic choices, there was a lot more texture in his voice, and still every part, and throughout every registration, when he goes into this nice mix, very head dominant, it's still, we're just not getting the grit, which I think is, and I have to think about the singers I've been hearing, but you just don't, in this particular genre, I feel like there's a lot more of that texture in the lead vocals than we're hearing, which is why this is just so, I don't know, I find it very unique. I love it. We'll keep going. that one more time because we're at the end. This is such a gorgeous mix. It's still very head dominant, but he is bringing a lot of muscle in there as well. So we're getting that presence and a lot of power this high.
This could be my fate. I wanna know that this could be my fate. Should I mind the change?
I love that little bit of vibrato he gave us at the end too, because I don't feel like I pulled much of that out throughout the song. And it's just that gentle, refined, sort of glowy tone. I can't even put a finger on it. It's so beautiful and not something I've heard yet from a lot of these artists, at least not consistently. I wouldn't say that was sort of at the core of their sound, whereas I feel like it is for him. That very smooth, refined vocal, despite everything else he does with his voice. I don't know. Obviously, it's one song. I have a lot more listening to do, but that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for this recommendation and for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.